want to get to some reaction up on Capitol Hill. The California Congressman Tom McClintock, a Republican, joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being here on the Hill on clearly an historic day. You just heard what Sean and Mick, who have spent a decent amount of time with the former president, had to say about this. What do you make of it?
Well, I'm obviously missing something. The President of the United States is the only official in the country who has absolute discretion over classified material. He can handle it any way he wants. If he wants to pull Joe Stalin aside at Potsdam and say, guess what, we just invented the atom bomb, he can do that. There's no process. He just does it. And the Presidential Records Act gives the president full discretion over what records he takes with him as he leaves. So,
but in this case, Congressman, and if we can
understanding where is the beef.
But in this case, and if we can go to full, yeah, no, but I want to show you that you say he can declassify the full screen one, and this is straight from the indictment. Trump showed, quote, and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the officials that the plan was, quote, highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, quote, as president, I could have declassified it, and, quote, now I can't, you know, but this is still a secret. Seems contrary to the argument that you're making.
Look. That's typical Trump bravado, and we can question his judgment, and should. I think it was atrocious. But as far as the legal questions involved, I just don't get it. Now, obviously, we have a judicial system that will sort all that out. What I find far more troubling is the rank double standard that exists between this case and, say, Hillary Clinton's handling of classified material. She had no such authority that the president has to treat it as he wishes. She put, 30,000 plus emails on a server that had less security than your Gmail account, including highly classified material.
Isn't the difference here in how you get to
took a walk.
Isn't the difference here in how you get to obstruction that the president essentially was ordering his own attorneys to mislead or lie on his behalf? The second full screen, if we can, real quick. Wouldn't it be better? This is one of Trump's own attorneys, or Trump's attorney, quote, wouldn't it be better if we just told them we didn't have anything here? To the full screen number 5 real quick. These statements were false, according to the indictment. Among other reasons, Trump had directed NADA to move boxes before Trump's attorney's June 2nd review, so that many boxes were not searched and many documents responsive to the subpoena could not be found and, in fact, were not found by the attorney. Isn't the difference here that Trump was basically trying to hide this and misled his own attorneys?
Well, what was Hillary Clinton trying to do when she willfully destroyed 30,000 documents she stored on that server that were under subpoena? The double standard is rather rank. When Jack Smith said yesterday, well, no one is above the law, that used to be true. But that's not true any longer. Hillary Clinton is above the law. Joe Biden is above the law. Hunter Biden is above the law. It seems to be that only Donald Trump is the focus of the FBI's wrath and the creative use of law to bring us to such a tragic moment as this in U.S. history.
I get the argument of a two-tier justice system, and we've certainly heard many Republicans well before this sort of make that argument. But if you're talking about Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, if charges or something were in a hypothetical world to be brought against them, would that make you more comfortable with charges being brought here against Donald Trump?
Well, again, neither Hillary Clinton nor Joe Biden, when he was mishandling documents way back in his Senate days, or what we've seen out of Hunter Biden and the evidence that is accumulating in that case, they had no authority to handle classified documents in that manner. Donald Trump, as president, did have that authority.
Congressman Tom McClintock, have to leave it there. We really appreciate you joining us here on the Hill. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Hope you come back.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.